hear this all the time, right? It's only video game guys and gals, it's not important. Stop taking things so seriously. Most of the time, you hear these statements like this when people are arguing about things related to video games in some way, or you hear it from those who aren't invested enough to really care about it. Which is funny, really, as this for the most part is humanity, right? It's easy for us to laugh or write off things that we consider unimportant to our personal selves, or things that we like to avoid and put in the back of our minds for whatever reasons. It's only video games, it's really not important, guys. That's what they like to tell you. Well, guess what? I'm here to tell those people that they are
wrong.
I think it's time to go deep, people. Time to go deep. Some people ask what the meaning of life is. In many ways, I feel we can simplify life to something as basic as, yet irrefutably important as memory. Memory to life is everything. It forms the base of our genetics. It gives rise to what we perceive as meaning, a way to quantify our actions and our thoughts, and to leave tendrils of the past that ultimately affect our futures. Memory is everything to life, and without it, it ceases to exist, which is why we desire life so much and to keep hold of everything that life offers us, mostly hoping for only the good things to remain.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
My immeasurable and deep passion for video games and how integral they are to me as an individual started from a very humble and ultimately character-building place. That place was my young mind when I was all of 5 years old. But video games were only a part of that time where, as a child, you looked at the world, and if you were fortunate enough to grow up in a place of stability, you could see no wrong with the world, only wonder and excitement about the possibilities around you. This, of course, stems from the wonders of the everyday, right into the wonders of your imagination. Imaginations that have gone on to shape the future of humanity. Much of it for the better, and as nature goes, some of it for the worse. But as Carl Sagan once said, humanity is young, we are curious, we are brave, and we have much to learn about our place in the cosmos. But my imagination and character was also affected by other forms of interactions, whether it be books, comics, toys, cartoons, movies, music, etc. Through the things my mind digested throughout the years, they helped to create me as an individual through my loves and dislikes, my humor, my creativity, and my zest for the fantastical. I recently reviewed the short but utterly relatable game that is 1980X, and the very intro to this game touches upon one of the greatest and strongest elements as to why video games matter, like everything else in life we cherish, and why they are important to many people, including myself.
In front of these machines stood some of the coolest, uncool people I had ever seen. They were the freaks, the geeks, the misfits, the outcasts, the real rebels, part of something the outside world could not understand or even knew existed. These guys were all playing trance-like, totally absorbed, as if they experienced something from another dimension. Maybe I could be one of them.
Video games have always been that connection, that bridge to new worlds as well as new friendships. Worlds and friendships that ultimately shape your own destiny. If it wasn't for video games, I arguably would never have met or bonded with some of my nearest and dearest friends. Friends who have helped me through my life, through both the good times and the bad times. And believe it or not, those friends don't always have to be other physical people. Like the stories we read, characters in video games can become heroes, mentors, inspirations, things that you apply to your own life and remember as well as you remember anything else. Video games have, without a doubt, affected me in that way. And video games have brought me into contact with people on the other side of the world. People who I now also consider to be good friends and share memories with, talk with, and venture into these virtual worlds with, placing our personalities and imaginations onto the characters on screen, personifying our greatest strengths into digital constructs that call to our hearts and desires. If you are familiar with me on my channel, I do a podcast with a great group of gamers. On the Terminator Juice channel, Terminator Juice, he hosts what we call the Juice to Juice podcast, and these people now have become really close friends to me, and that would not have happened without video games. When the world is getting you down, some people retreat, some into the shadows, others to regroup their thoughts and better prepare their minds for the moments that are bound to follow. I've been in those dark places, and many times for me, in order for me to regroup, I plunge myself into worlds where I'm in control, and through being in control, I maintain the stability of my mind. Video games are important. Video games are important to me. Video games are me. Just like all the other things that make me as an individual. But video games hold a special place in my heart where nothing else outside of those dear to me can fill its place. They are always on my mind and have always been with me. If I defend them in some way, fight back against something where the fight might seem illogical or pointless to some, it's because video games are important to me, and I'll always continue to fight for their integrity and the pureness of our childlike imaginations, desperately trying to cling onto the things that are important to me, and without a doubt important to millions of other people. So, on this day, we celebrate Super Mario Day, a virtual character once again who has brought more joy to my life than most things I could list. Super Mario is one of the beauties of video games and just the world in general really. Just pure, strong, joyful, and ultimately character building. So, happy Mario Day. And also I'd like to wish a merry birthday to the Panzer Dragoon series, which celebrates 25 years of worlds, sounds and stories that affected my own tastes for music, stories and art. A series that without a doubt added to my desire to go to art school. So, some people who look at life differently, seeing the only real necessities as, say, food and shelter, for survival, that is true. But as for being human, there's a reason why we as a species hasn't sat still and dreamt of reaching the stars. Our imaginations push us towards the cosmos. Imaginations fed by creativity, and video games are one of our greatest achievements in captivating and realizing those imaginations. So next time someone laughs at you and says video games aren't important, that's fine. Video games aren't important to them, but video games are indeed important to me, to you, and millions of other people, and they ultimately can form and impact your life in many, many positive ways. So I hope video games keep on going. I hope they keep on inspiring and motivating people, those people who don't have friends, who find friends on the other side of the world without even seeing them, just through voice. Find friends within stories and worlds that don't judge you or look down on you, but teach you also lessons and comfort your heart and mind and push you forward in ways that some people just won't get from other people. So yeah, video games are important, people. Keep playing, keep enjoying, and I'll be doing this for the rest of my life.